Biggie fatto.
That's scientifically proven. Where did I see that? In Instagram Reels. No, I read it somewhere. No, I didn't. Like, you know when you see a funny video and it's like, okay, am I going to hell for laughing at this? Or like, do other people think the same?
Yeah.
On Easter,
Well, that's your onomatopoeia, or what is it called?
Emetophobia?
Emetophobia. That's it.
Well, yeah.
The
Gen
Y
Z Podcast.
The Gen Y Z Podcast. Hello. How is everybody today? We're not going to know because you're not there.
Great observation.
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Matt.
My name's Chloe.
And this is the Gen Y Z Podcast. And today we are going to be talking about social media, like what we experienced growing up in our different generations, how often we're on social media, and what kind of effects it puts on our mental state. Then, we're going to cover, FOMO, comparisons to other people, the fakeness of social media, how it's ruined politics, and personal interactions in real life. And we will probably play a game if we have time. So let's just start with that. Chloe, what are your experiences with social media growing up?
Well, growing up, I wasn't allowed to have social media at all. So, I got my first phone in first grade, which is kind of early, but that's the only way I was going to be allowed to go to sleepovers, which, growing up, I don't know, did you have a lot of sleepovers when you were younger, or is that more of a girl thing?
No, it was a guy thing too.
Yeah.
I remember playing N64 and stuff like that well into the night. Smash Bros, Mario.
Yeah. So my parents were kind of like, if we can't directly contact you.
What kind of phone, by the way?
It was an Android.
Okay, but you guys had smartphones to start out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I got my first phone till I was maybe middle school, but it might have even been high school because I had a little flip phone.
Lene had something like that. She had a flip phone to start.
Was there like a certain you couldn't access certain things on your phone? Was it just kind of child-proof?
Yeah, it was. I had Subway Surfers, text messaging, and calling, and that's it.
Okay. So you couldn't access the internet, social media, anything like that?
No.
So what else what was like your first social media that you started on?
Oh, my first social media that I started on was Snapchat.
Okay.
And I Snapchatted my mom, dad, and sister. That was it.
No friends or anything like that?
I think I had 2 friends that were on it, and that was probably around 6th grade. And it was a fight. I had to be like, no, mom and dad, everyone has it.
I can understand, though, with how dumb these kids are nowadays. Yeah. Not to lump you guys all together, but if you see how much social media has like turned a lot of these kids into idiots who are just like either they want to like commit crimes or just do the stupidest crap just to get attention. It's either going to hurt them or somebody else, then I see why they did it. But
yeah. But what was good about Snapchat is really I just wanted it for the filters.
Yeah, of course.
To take fun photos. I think the first photo on my Snapchat is actually a picture of you with this filter, and it jacked up how your head was shaped. And then the first picture on Lene's Snapchat is you and my dad at Chili's with a face swap on.
Oh, of course. Oh, yes. I think I'm vaguely remembering this.
Yeah.
I know there was a time where he was Bud was getting into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're just like, I don't know, like, did it shrink the head or give you a baby face or something? I remember him having something that was really stupid, but it was funny and it made us all laugh and stuff. So, yeah. I'd say my first, like, I didn't get into social media till like near the end of high school with MySpace. Mm-hmm. I would say my junior, senior year, because you could, have you ever even used MySpace?
No.
Yeah. It was basically just like a simple, like page where you you could have like a little player playing a song, little pictures, little descriptions, a nice little background. Tom was your friend no matter what. So even if you had no friends, there was Tom.
Aww.
Have you heard about that whole thing with
I
MySpace?
haven't heard about Tom, but my dad did tell me kind of all of the other stuff of like the layout.
Yeah, but that was the thing. Basically, this guy, the creator guy, Tom, was always everybody's friend no matter what. So even if you were a loser,
Oh my god.
you still that's messed up. And then Facebook, I got into like after high school.
Yeah.
Set it up. I think the wall. Do you even use Facebook either?
No, but growing up, my parents always had it.
They did. I remember. But either way, it was like the wall. I think you posted to a wall. I don't know if they still have that now because I don't even have Facebook anymore. But
Oh, you're cool.
I am cool. Not
I grew
really.
out of Facebook.
Yeah, I'm too good for this stuff. It was just more useless. Like
Yeah, my mom deleted it too, actually.
Yeah, because I don't know. Because basically it involved like posting stuff for attention. That's most social media, but
Yeah.
Facebook especially that's how I dealt with it. I might have posted like this cool song I liked or how much I love Gatorade. That's right. Oh yeah, also about using like a new camera. Like, I'm gonna film on this cool new camera, guys. And then I didn't end up doing that.
Yeah.
Get into that stuff until recently, so shows what that means. But yeah, so that was kind of my early stuff. Like all the Instagrams, the Twitters, the Reddits. I didn't get into that stuff until I needed it, maybe as a tool in some cases to look up certain things. But like, what other social media do you use
today
other than Snapchat?
Well, okay, so today I still have Snapchat and I have Instagram. That's it.
That's it? Not
That's
even
it.
TikTok or Twitter or
Well, I downloaded
X,
TikTok
sorry.
for the sole purpose of this podcast.
Of course. Gen YZ podcast. Gen YZ _ podcast.
Find it on TikTok and Instagram.
Yep.
So yeah, I downloaded that, but my dad super against TikTok. Also, I knew that I'd get addicted to it, and my screen time's already bad enough.
Yeah, TikTok can be pretty bad because even though, yeah, with TikTok, so it's like it's so just stupid and brain rotting. So
yeah.
when you get on it, like I think like any other social media, the algorithm is trying to keep you there and have you just warped into that. So it was only a slight bit of time that this happened, but yeah, I was on TikTok, really bad time in my life, and I was just scroll and just get hooked, and then you just check out. An hour later, guess what? You don't know where you are, what's going on, and that's what So I could see that for TikTok because. Although I think they're trying that with Instagram with the Reels,
is just
right?
as bad with my Instagram Reels.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The habits are just as bad. I'll do the same things. But something I do on all of my social media apps are time limits. So I'll set time limits, and it's 15 minutes a day. Do I stick to that? Not ever. Actually, I don't remember the last time I stuck to the 15 minutes a day. But it does remind me every 15 minutes, and then it gives me an option. Do you want to do it for another 15 minutes, an hour, or approve it for all day?
Is this like within the app or just
No, it's
a separate
Apple thing.
Okay.
So you go to your settings and you set a timer. And so that kind of helps me be aware of how much time I'm spending, because then if I click approve for another hour and then it comes up again, I'll be like, okay, I've already wasted an hour, time to move on and do something else.
So Chloe, I'll pass it over to you. Because you had brought up some topics we could cover, and one of them was FOMO.
Yes.
This new fandangled term.
Fandangle.
Yes.
Okay. FOMO stands for the fear of missing out. And let me tell you, I've never gotten worse FOMO than from social media. So, you could get FOMO if you're sitting with your friends and they're all talking about the weekend plans that you didn't get invited to. Uh-oh, I'm afraid of missing out. I'm feeling FOMO.
And that's like... So for you, it's tied to like your friend groups and social interactions?
Or also seeing Olivia Rodrigo meet Pesto the Penguin. I'm afraid of missing out on meeting Pester the Penguin.
Is that like in a post or something, or what? Why
Yeah.
would she be doing that?
I don't know, because she's like a celebrity.
A blah, blah, blah.
Celebrity. But, so, I feel as if FOMO is perpetuated by social media. Because I'm sitting here looking at my friends, or maybe not because they didn't invite me out. Like, I'm seeing them post with other friends, and I'm seeing them go get food or go to a party. And I'm sitting at home alone in my bed watching it from their Instagram story or their Snapchat story. So I'm like, dang, well, now I'm afraid of what I'm missing out on.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. Why aren't they
that's
inviting
FOMO.
you?
I don't know, maybe because they just don't like me.
Well, then how are they your friends? There you go.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, wait,
the
right.
enigma of our times. How are they friends if they don't like me?
I know, right? Like, I'd say FOMO, though, because yours is like tied to social interaction and stuff. I never really had that. Well, maybe because I didn't have any large friend groups, so
Yeah.
believe me, I feel your pain. But my FOMO is like more tied to missing out on certain like shows,
Yeah.
movies, games, like the things that are like people are talking about. Like
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't necessarily care about like, because I know people really want to like be able to discuss things through social media. I know that's a thing. I don't really care about that. I'm more just like, have I experienced this yet?
Yes.
And if I have, because people, I think another thing I've seen from social media is like spoilers. People spoil shit all the time. It's really annoying and frustrating. So that's probably why I don't go on social media that much, because I want to be able to. But then again, sometimes social media might drive me to a certain like new game or a new show that's on. And
social media has done that a lot, where I get bits of movies. The last movie that happened with was After Sun. Have you seen that?
is that the Paul Mescal?
Yes, After Sun, Paul Mescal.
Yeah.
Yeah? You seen it?
No, I haven't seen it, but I know what it is.
Okay.
What was it like? That movie came out years ago, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Well, I think his whole star's on the rise because he's gonna be in the Gladiator sequel.
Yeah.
And all that, and
it started with normal people in 2020.
Yeah.
With Daisy Edgar Jones.
Oh boy! And then are you gonna bring up all the drama with
Oh my gosh.
the relationships?
Can I?
Go ahead.
Okay. Let me fill you guys in on, just don't get FOMO that you didn't know about this, because now I'm filling you in. So, Paul Mescal and Daisy Edgar Jones acted in Normal People together. I just love them. You watch it and you're like, wow, here's how I feel about, sorry, small tangent. How I feel about all actresses and actors who play a part really well when they're in love. There's no way you can separate that from real life.
It's hard not to.
Not a chance. Okay, so whatever, they have this great on-screen chemistry, and then Daisy Edgar Jones goes saying, that role made me love Paul Mescal, ... as a friend, whatever, wrong. So then he got a tattoo of a deer because her character was described as a deer. That's neither here nor there, they're in love. That's all you need to know. So, at some awards ceremony, and I figured this out from a different podcast, okay, so Daisy Edgar Jones, I hope everyone's seen that picture, and if you haven't, look it up, where it's Paul Mescal looking at Daisy Edgar Jones while holding Phoebe Bridgers.
My God.
Everyone scream. Everyone scream. So he's like holding this. Phoebe Bridgers is looking at him and smiling at him, but he's looking at Daisy Edgar Jones. Why? Okay, so you think, okay, he's just glancing at her or whatever. Don't read into it. No, read into it, because apparently he was supposed to go with Daisy Edgar Jones because she has really bad anxiety about events like that.
Of course.
And so he was supposed to go with her to calm her anxieties. Boom, he was looking at her to check in on her. Not a harmless glance, oh wow, that dress is really pretty. Nope, not harmless at all. I have so much care and affection for her, that's why I'm looking at her, while holding another woman who is looking at me.
Messed up.
And how did I find all of that out? Social media.
Of course.
Add that to the pros list.
So wait, so he looked at her and all that, whatever. So when did they end up? So I assume he's with Daisy Edgar Jones now?
No.
No?
No, they've never dated.
Oh. So he's with that Phoebe Bridgers still?
No,
They broke up?
They broke up. He's with Grace Abrams.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
So it's all speculative whether or not he actually got with Daisy Edgar Jones?
No, they've never gotten together.
Well, how do you know?
Well, maybe they have. I don't know.
Neither do I. I would have never known any of this if you didn't tell me.
Exactly.
And you'll have to, because you're on social media more than I am.
Uh-huh.
But politics in social media, how pervasive it is, because
they're horrible. It's basically propaganda on crack, if we're thinking about it.
That's a good way to think about it.
Because think about the 1900s. Propaganda was all just print, okay? And they didn't have the technology to print that much. But even so, it was pervasive in politics to have that propaganda. But now with social media, you can literally make anything up, and it's so biased. So some of it is untrue, some of it is true, and you don't know what to believe. And that's what terrifies me about this generation voting when they're voting off of social media.
Because I think that also ties back to like algorithms, and we were talking about that in a class I just had today, but also confirmation bias, because your mind's warped into thinking this certain way, whether it's like, conservatism, liberalism, or wackoism, whatever, all that stuff. So then you basically, if you see something that you don't agree with or like, you just like, you don't want that, and you maybe
don't interact with it.
Yeah, and you just kind of stay in this like little bubble.
Exactly.
Where you just only feed into all that other stuff, and because like it's so, and people don't really check much of anything. Like
no. Like
I've multiple times, I think I don't want to put him on blast again, but Bud has like brought something up, and so this they definitely did this thing here. They said this thing here. I took 2 seconds to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Just look it up. I look at different, and obviously, people are going to say, oh, it's the liberal media. They've taken over everything, or vice versa. But even just looking up just normal enough articles, then it's like, oh, no, this was debunked. Oh, no, this actually didn't happen. And it's like, it takes 2 seconds. And that's with a guy like, I can't imagine your generation, how they
exactly
don't even.
Well, because it's so much easier to just click on Instagram and have it all just be displayed for you.
But also, like, how politically inclined are, like, you or people of your generation? Are you guys just, like, do you guys just check out of it maybe and just feed into just entertainment slop, or do you?
I can safely say I check out of it. But I think something I did notice this go-round, this election, right, where people my age, emphasis on the fact that we can't vote.
Yeah.
That's my biggest factor. It's like, I have no say in what's going to happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I invest any time into it? But a lot of people, when it's being shoved down your throat in social media, it consumes so many people. So yeah, there were a lot of people my age who were like, well, no, I did research on this. No, you opened TikTok. And I'm guilty of that too. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I read it somewhere. No, I didn't. I saw it on an Instagram reel. And now I'm regurgitating it. Like, so many people were like, well, no, I did research and blah, 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 blah. This happened. Did it actually, though? So you can't take any political anything from social media because there's no saying it's true.
Yeah, it's difficult because also like what's the expectation of people that they're gonna go find like court documents and political all these other things and do is like 20 hours of research when they have lives to live, and that's why it's easier to find something like on social media. And
exactly.
And I think some of the people who are like spreading misinformation and stuff, they're good at it. They're good at just like articulating things in a certain way that makes you be like, yeah,
it makes it seem believable.
Yeah, it is the freaking legals. They are doing that thing, or no, the Republicans are all Nazis and it's all crazy. It's like, but there's no legitimate proof.
Yeah.
And I think what also ties into social media and politics and kind of maybe blasted this out was when 24-hour news cycles happened. Because that's been around as long as I've been alive too. But I know back in the day, it was just, there was less, you just had more just news reporters. Like it was just, this is the news, this is what's happening, that's it. Because I think Edward R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite was a respected guy. You ever heard of them?
Nope.
If you ever watched the movie, what is it called? It's like a George Clooney one he directed, like Good Night, Good Luck, or Good Luck, Good Night. I don't know. Look it up.
Okay.
But either way, those are like real news people who just,
Yeah.
That's why there's Edward R. Murrow News Award. I think it's awarded around here. news people. But 24-hour news cycle started, and then it's just like they have to fill in time with something. So it's just pundits just yammering on about what they believe in and just trying to propagate certain things and then it's the same thing. Because the thing is, my stepdad has like certain stuff on like all the time, friggin' MSNBC, and it's like the same thing. Like Trump did this, oh Trump did that, oh what Trump did, and they're just repeating the same stuff. There's no real news breaking. It's like the breaking news is like, oh no, guess what? Trump did something again. It's like, okay. It's like,
well, and that like just the headlines are insane. Where it's like you'll look at a headline and it'll be like, Trump, whatever, or Kamala, whatever, and so it just feels like you can't get any totally unbiased information. But you know what my dad does? He looks at like Australian news coverage on the United States,
which is odd.
Which odd.
I'm sure has a certain slant. Knowing him.
Yeah. But I feel like they're a little bit more, or they're less biased, because it's like, it's not my country, I don't care.
Yeah, so, but I've also seen stuff like that with like I forget what this is. I don't know which news organization it is, but I'm pretty sure there are still conservatives over in that place, and they're going to obviously push a certain conservative agenda, even though it's not really their country, right?
Yeah.
Just like maybe people might say, oh, the BBC, they're too liberal or whatever. It's just so crazy. It's
just really hard to find accurate information anywhere, but especially social media. And I think that goes for all facets of social media. People editing photos of their body. People making their life out to be something it's not. And I've done that too. You're not going to catch me posting pictures of myself spending the entire day in bed. Or like just doing the mundane things of life. You're going to catch me posting vacation or I went to this fun event. And so nothing you really see on social media in general is real.
Yeah, that's another topic I think you wanted to cover was like the whole fakeness of social media as a whole.
Yeah. Well, and I'm guilty of it. Like like I just said, I'm not posting the small things of my life.
Yeah, I think there are people that do that they're just on like anything that happens with them.
Yeah.
There's like, I'm going to do a video, I'm going to do this or that.
Well, and I'm also not posting like the big things of my life either. If I have some life-altering event, I'm not going to post about it.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Like I'm posting about I'm posting pictures of vacation. I'm posting pictures of holidays with my family. It's very happy, the happy times of my life.
Sure.
And I think that's fine.
But do you think you're trying to? I don't think you're not trying to paint like a false picture of your life. You're just trying to show certain things.
Yeah, it's definitely not my intention, but I could understand if people, and I'm guilty of it too sometimes, where I'll look at people's Instagram and it's all of them traveling. And I'm like, oh, they're so lucky. They're so fortunate. They're constantly traveling. When they could be going through a really, really tough time and they're just choosing to post pictures of them in Italy.
Yeah, because I guess, because maybe for your generation, or I think some for my generation too, it's like just getting that, I don't know, dopamine hit of just like this recognition or just connection maybe in some ways. Because you did bring up, because you kind of like not only just like FOMO, but even comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
Like being like, oh, this person's doing this. Why am I not doing that?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's also really hard because you see like the grind culture. My whole Instagram feed is these people who go to the gym every day and they eat right all the time. So I'm like, well, that's just the entire rest of the world and I'm just lazy and can't get my stuff together. No. Really, it's not the rest of the world. But when you're looking at something where it's like, okay, every single person that I'm seeing right now, even if it's the same 5 people over and over, that's all I'm seeing. So my mind is going to think that's all there is.
Yeah, but I think to a certain degree, they're just painting a certain picture too. Like that's not their life 24/7. I don't know if you've ever seen this thing, but these like super rich people that have their morning routines, and it's like wake up at 4 a.m., take a cold shower, and look over my emails and drink this and do this crazy work. It's it's a bunch of bullcrap.
Yeah.
First off, the videos they are in, it's obviously, because I watched a video where one of the videos these people made, they said it was like 6 a.m. or something, but then you could see a clock like on the computer that says like noon or something. So it's like, well, obviously you're just making this stuff up right now, buddy. Yeah. Or they're pushing their own products, because it's a whole grift.
Exactly.
Like that I think that ties into the grind culture, is like trying to grift people on social media to buy their products, like supplements or makeup. Do you see makeup stuff?
Yeah, I do.
Stuff
where it's like, look at this. Look at how well this lipstick lasts when I go on a 16-mile run. Okay. Also, what I eat in a day's, where it's like a girl and she's like, for breakfast I had half of an avocado. For lunch I had 3 blueberries. And for dinner I went crazy and had a whole sandwich. It's like, okay, actually, that's my lunch. That is my one meal. And so I think that's super harmful.
Yeah, because it's not realistic way of eating. I mean, you don't have to be eating like frickin' McDonald's 3 times a day or have these 5-course meals all the time. But yeah, like that's never been healthy, because I know like anorexia was kind of a issue with some of the girls back in my day.
Yeah.
Like, because that was always the whole standard, I guess, was like skinny girls, like be as skinny as possible. But it's like it just looks unhealthy and gross, and I don't know why people aspire to that.
Well, and I also think things like that are glorified on social media too, where it's like really, really bad things are getting glorified, like depression or, anorexia and bulimia. It's when you're seeing like, I don't know, you're seeing a lot of this, so you think it's normal sometimes. Actually, I just saw something, and it was on emetophobia. And it was
I looked that up because the notes you sent me, and I was like, what the frick does that mean? I have no idea. And then I wrote, it's tied to...
I'm seeing it on my feed where it's like, oh no, like a lot of people have emetophobia. No, they don't. It's not normal. Like, if you have emetophobia, I'm very sorry. I have it too. But it's not normal. And
What is emetophobia?
Emetophobia is the fear of throwing up yourself or watching other people throw up. And so, like, I'm seeing this where it's like, no, a lot of people have it. So I'm like, okay, no, it is normal, and I'm just going to be comfortable in it then. I'm just not going to do anything to change it then.
Well, people just want to be victims, and they want to be... Yeah,
and I'm a victim of throw up.
But pitied and whatever, because I know that people have... I think there was some TikTok lady who made up that she had Tourette's. And I'm almost certain there are people who've made up like having cancer.
Yeah.
And even from like my YouTube sphere, I mean, there's this one loser named like Neon or something. He's faked his death like 5 different times or whatever, and somehow it's just
Mikado avocado faked being fat.
yeah. And then, well, and of course your freaking dad Bud thinks it's even more of a conspiracy because he might be actually fat. And
it's all AI.
Yeah, because I think some people, well, because they're so entrenched into social media, that they just need to have something, because most of them are probably living decent lives off their parents or whatever and doing much of nothing, so they need something interesting to happen. But and it's been conditioned into people that if you're a piece of crap person or if you play victim or something, that you'll get it's all about attention. I think at the end of the day, it's attention, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think things are being made out, or not, but additionally, I think things are being made out to be way more normal than they are, and it's glorifying it. Yeah. So like, and that doesn't mean don't feel empathy for these people.
Sure.
But it's sometimes it feeds into just staying how you are. Where it's like, whether it's you're overweight and it's like, no, it's okay to be overweight.
That's
like, you're still healthy. In some instances, you're not. Or like where it's like depression. Oh, this is my depression room, or like my depression cave. That was a big thing. What does yours look like? That shouldn't be glorified. You shouldn't be posting about something like that and saying that you're proud of it. I think if there were more things being like, hey, this is how I got help for this. That would be more beneficial, but it's kind of just feeding into it.
Yeah, I think it ties back to what you're saying. Like, you can't empathize with people. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody who, like, sometimes, yes, it might be somebody overindulging in food. That's why they get big. Maybe it's genetics, or thyroid thing or whatever. And people, obviously everybody gets depressed, but some people are more, their mental chemistry is more prone to that.
Yeah.
There's no fault in like empathizing with people on that, but yes, trying to glorify it and say,
yeah,
oh, this is like the whole fat acceptance thing is ridiculous. Like nobody's saying that we're gonna go out and be like, hey, fatso, like lose some weight, biggy fat person, or I couldn't think of an insult, so
biggy
biggy fatto. But it's nobody's saying to do that.
Yeah,
it's just about like don't pretend. Oh, I'm beautiful. It's like you're gonna have like a lot of problems with like
exactly
heart disease, diabetes. These aren't fun things to do.
No,
I've had to see my stepdad, his whole life, type 1 diabetic, by the way, and it's destroyed his everything. Like he's on dialysis
it's
now.
To live with
he had like a stroke, like not to trauma dump right now, but that stuff happened. This is type 1. And if you're choosing almost to just overindulge and not change anything, type 2, it's like it's still going to be really rough on your body going forward. Like when you get older, like I know it's difficult. Believe you me, I know how difficult it is because I've had issues with eating and my weight for like a long time. But you shouldn't be glorifying and say, oh yeah, this is okay. This is okay for you to be fat and unhealthy. It's like no. As long as you're working on it, nobody's gonna fault you for working on it, or or if and nobody deserves to be bullied for any of that either.
No.
But and even depression, like you can understand people, but trying to like glorify that's insanity.
Or
people like the suicide. And all
with
that
the
stuff.
13 Reasons Why. That's what I was just about to bring up. It's like
oh yeah, that crappy.
People are being desensitized to it. I feel because my little cousin, she's in elementary school or not elementary, middle school. And someone at her school killed themselves. Trigger warning.
In real life?
In real life. And so, like, they wore a certain color shirts. And then she said one of her friends made a comment of like, oh, well, I'm just going to kill myself so everyone can wear pink again. Oh. And so it's something that is losing sensitivity.
Yeah.
Because when you see a TV show about someone killing themselves and it's there's a line there's a line crossed between bringing awareness and glorifying. Yeah. And I think that line was crossed, and so now if you see it everywhere, you're kind of not as sensitive to it, and you're just like, okay, that's normal. But people can't think that's normal because it's not. It's an issue that needs to be addressed properly instead of glorified.
See, I think the problem that comes with I've seen like video essays talking about 13 Reasons Why and how ridiculous it is and glorifies that kind of stuff. But I think it's just that kind of, there's certain subjects that need to be tackled with like nuance and where you're being careful about it. Because if you come in like with like a bull in the china shop, that's an old saying. You heard of that saying before? Yep. Well, bull in the china shop. If you come out at it like in that sense, then it's going to build on this glorification and this desensitization. Is that a word? Maybe.
I think so.
But to these subjects. So yeah, like you said, then people are going to say that like crazy stuff they said in real life about suicide. And it's just like, you can't, but it's hard because, like this stuff also can, I don't know, really entertain people in a weird, sick way. And people are just like, don't always want to really think too hard about that. And of course, especially if you're pushing it towards kids and teenagers and young people, they're just like, just want to consume content. I don't want to say all of like Gen Z is like that, but I guess in my head when I see some of these people, but it's like, what do you see with that? Do you see like a bunch of people just wanting to consume just basic content and just not caring about the nuances of things, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think, everyone on social media is kind of just like, okay, I want this 30-second TikTok, or I want this 30-second Instagram reel, and then I just want to scroll away and immediately have new content.
Attention spans.
Yes, attention spans are greatly decreasing. That's scientifically proven. Where did I see that? In Instagram reel. No, I read it somewhere. No, I didn't. But No, I think nobody, like, social media can't effectively carry information that matters, in my opinion. Is that potentially an overgeneralization? I don't think so. Like,
Yeah,
whether it's because you can't trust it or because it doesn't go into enough depth, because really how much depth can you go into on a 30-second video? And even the 2-minute videos, no one's going to watch it when they know that all they have to do is scroll to get a 10-second video.
Yeah, because I think with that, unless people are linking to like, here, I'm going to link to this article here or this article there, but also it's like how many people,
click on
especially, kids hell, any generation are just going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go click and read something right now. Like, I was like, get the hell. I think unless you're interested in that topic, unless you want to know more about stuff, then you're probably just going to be like, nah, no thanks.
Yeah.
You can cover, listen, I'm on YouTube all the time. That's my jam. And there's a lot of videos that, there's hour-long videos, 30-minute, 20-minute, 15, 5. There's all kinds of things. And, it varies like what I watch and when. I think people, but usually, yeah, the shorter the content, that's what's going to be, consumed easier. And so I think people don't, again, they just want to kind of see it and, confirmation bias and the algorithm, warping them in their own little bubble. And then so people are just like, nah, oh yeah, this is true. This has got to be true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody who can talk really well and be charismatic and just like make you believe, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. You know what? That is right. That does make perfect sense. Fuck the liberals and all like, or stuff like that. I mean, how do you think freaking Hitler got into power?
Exactly. It's all propaganda.
Yes, exactly.
But it's on such a mass scale that it's almost uncontrollable.
It is. It's like, I don't know the solution.
And so that's the issue with it. And I think, back to the confirmation bias thing, even sometimes when you're just talking to someone and you're kind of in a bad mood, maybe you were fighting with your family or like something happened, maybe it was a road rage incident. Sometimes all you want to be told is that you were in the right. Sometimes all you want is that person to be like, no, you're totally in the right. Like, no, like, you should be mad at her. But sometimes you need to hear like, no.
Yeah, you were wrong.
Maybe you shouldn't have cut that person off. That's probably why they honked and flipped you off. Sometimes you need to be told that. And on social media, due to the algorithm, you're never going to be told what you don't want to hear.
Oh, yeah.
And if you do, you just scroll away.
And I think if you follow certain and become fans of certain influencers, nothing happens to them for the most part. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of Jack Doherty or...
Nope.
You ever heard of that? Yeah. Complete scumbag kid. Or even Logan Paul back in the day with the freaking suicide force and all that.
I saw something and it was like people don't know that happened. Which is crazy to me because I remember when it happened, that's when I was on my YouTube grind. And I thought it was the craziest thing ever.
That's another thing with social media is like basically even maybe a couple years ago or a few years ago or however long that, I think that was longer, but it's just like ancient history because it's like it's always the next thing. Yes. It's always the next thing. So I think and that's why people are in the now and with the influencers they follow and stuff, when they're not being punished for this kind of stuff, then people think, oh yeah, I can get away with it too. And that's why, like you said, I think even if you're in the wrong or having a bad day for doing something, you want that kind of feeling of, what's the right word for that?
Validation.
Validation. That's great job. You want that validation so you don't feel as bad. And sometimes, it's fair to want to make somebody you care about feel better. But at the same time, you also don't want them to think, oh, yeah, you didn't do anything wrong. You're great. And this also kind of leads me into our next thing, which is like social media and how it's kind of maybe warped or ruined in-person interactions with people.
Yeah.
And how that goes.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just harder. Well, because it desensitizes so many topics, it's harder to have a meaningful conversation now. Because you're being consumed by social media so much that it's like you're speaking in brain rot terms and you're trying to have a serious conversation. And so it's just harder and the attention span is limited. So I could be trying to have a super meaningful conversation and somebody just picks up their phone. And so it's almost impossible to have serious conversations that go anywhere.
And you experience that pretty often?
Sometimes. Well, like, I don't know. I'm not going to say, like, I've never had a meaningful conversation since social media. Like, no, there are some instances. I just think it's a lot harder. Especially, like, with politics. You can't have a conversation about politics without somebody, bringing up something they saw on social media. Or, like, I'll be in the middle of saying something to Bud, and he gets sucked into his phone. Because it's so easy to just get sucked in.
Yeah, and it's not just your generation thing. Like, it's us too.
Yeah.
I mean, Bud's a perfect example of that because, I don't know, it's just been like a thing that has taken over people. You have these like supercomputers in your pocket, and social media is so prevalent that, and, a lot of people don't have the, I guess, greatest lives or most satisfying lives, so they just want to sink into that.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be this guy to be like, put your phone away. Don't ever look at it ever. It's like it's still a tool that you can use in a lot of ways, even social media. But as far as in-person interaction, it's like, I think like you said, it kind of can ruin it because people are just like, no, I just want to go on my phone now. I don't want to have a meaningful talk right now. I don't want to discuss this. And especially, we'll bring up Bud again. We always bring him up, but he'll also get butthurt. Because that's one thing I want to mention, because he'll get so inspired by something or think something so funny or whatever. Right. And then of course, and I get it. Like if you feel that way strongly about something, you're like, man, I really want to show the people I care about why this made you laugh. But the problem is like not everybody's going to have that same humor. And like I've had that issue with him for most of the time. It's like it's 50-50. There are some times where we'll laugh the same thing. Other times where it's like some inside joke to do with his job or something like that. And I'm just like, why is that funny to me? It's like, I don't get it. But anyway, so I think he just wants that validation with the stuff he brings up. It could be difficult and that's, I think, what also can suck him into his phone so often.
Exactly. Because then he's like, oh no, I need to show you this. Oh, but I also have 15 other things to show you. And then the whole conversation is derailed and centered around something that might not be as entertaining. His
attention span, I think, you would think is from like the, Gen Z kids and all that. Because he just always wants to go. And it's like, and sometimes, don't get me wrong, I've had some good conversations with him. But there are other times where, he just is so warped into that it's just like, that's the focus. That's what I need to figure out now. I think people just get bored too, or just don't want to. Because I know me and you, we just, at least when we're at your guys' house or something, we want to do something. We want to have some fun games or something like that. But the problem is like, he's so warped into it that it's hard to get him on. And so we have to like push him. Like, all right, Leo, so what are we doing now? What are we gonna do now? And so,
that one treacherous New Year's. Where he didn't want to do anything because he was tired and getting
mad.
Yeah,
that too.
I don't want to do the Uno dare.
Yeah, I don't.
Love
listen, man. Like, we all care. Yeah. Well, us too, but so I can understand that being like around his age, and but for me, that gives me more energy, is being able to hang out with people and do stuff like so. Even if I am tired, like the excitement I have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Pushes me into that. And I'm also, listen, I can get it. Like, that's why I can be friends with him and also not connect with everything he's into, because I'm into a lot of stuff. Not to like toot my own horn or something, but I have a variety of interests, so I can get into a lot of stuff. And so sometimes I want him to also be into certain things, but I don't want to force it, because what's that going to accomplish? I want people to want to enjoy things, to want to get into certain stuff. I don't want to force them into it, because then it's just like, then they're going to actually hate it. Because I think that's what happens with shows and stuff with people, is that like you tell them, so many times, this is the greatest show ever. If you don't like this, you're a piece of shit. And people don't usually say that, I don't think. But basically, you're like, it's basically the inference is that, if you don't like this, you're a fool. But it's
oh
like,
yeah, like you don't understand it like I understand it if you don't like it.
yeah, it's like let people like what they
Yeah.
like. Like I try to tailor any suggestions I have to people to what I think they might like. And if they don't, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody's fully capable of liking what they like and enjoying it that way.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna like freaking shoot you in the head for
Yeah.
liking something that they don't like. You know, you're not. It's just like I think years ago there was this one guy that freaked out because the Joker movie, the first one, didn't win an Oscar nomination over Parasite. Great movie, by the way, Parasite. It's a Korean movie, but yeah, like.
Oh wait, yes, I think I saw that.
Yeah, about class division, all that stuff. It's a real good thriller drama thing. But anyway, but that's beside the point. Somebody freaked out like it was the end of the world that Joker didn't win that.
Yeah.
But it's like no, just because Parasite got the Oscar doesn't mean you can't enjoy Joker anymore.
Exactly.
It's still there for you to enjoy whenever you want. You can still, but I think it's just people, and this ties back into social media. You just want that validation. They want that, the fact that because maybe they're insecure because they're like, is this not as good as I thought it was? It's like it doesn't matter because Oscars and all again, like I said last time, it's a fucking Hollywood circle jerk that just they want to give it. Sometimes, listen, great stuff can get nominated and win, but that doesn't matter. It's like, what do you enjoy? Why do you enjoy it? Because if you're freaking out about that kind of stuff, then it probably means you don't actually like it as much as you think you do. Because if somebody criticizing something you like gets you that upset, or if it, they're not appreciating it as much, then you must not like it very much. Because why do you care what they think? Who cares? And not saying that you don't want to at least have people enjoy, because it's always fun to be able to talk with people about certain things, which I don't know how much that happens. Do you, how do you even use social media? Do you just do the kind of the posts and stuff?
So I do the posts and then I share Instagram Reels. It's kind of, most of it is, oh, this made me think of you. So I just send it. Or it's like jokes about The Sopranos to my dad. Or like sometimes it's just like, hey, I thought you'd like this joke, or hey, this made me think of you because whatever.
Yeah. But it's just like simple, quick things.
Super
There's
simple.
no like
Deeper meaning,
elongated
no.
stuff. Well, because you're just on Instagram, Snapchat, so that's very no pun intended, snappy type stuff, or instant. But yeah, so because I think there are people, because again I watch a lot of YouTube stuff and see all these like degenerates like in all these different places, whether it's like Discord or Reddit or Twitter. But there are people who are just like threads of text, like constant, because it's like people get so upset at each other too. It's like if you don't agree, there might be a thread.
Yeah, no, I don't
boop, boop,
ever
boop, boop, boop.
comment on anything.
Me neither.
Like sometimes I will check out the comments. Like, when you see a funny video and it's like, okay, am I going to hell for laughing at this, or like do other people think the same? So I'll do that sometimes, or I'll just like look at the comments to see what other people are thinking, but that's very rare. Usually I don't do that.
Yeah, because usually it's freaking cancer.
Yeah.
Looking at comments and stuff, because it's either like spam and bots pushing some weird products or something, or it's people just kind of saying the same thing, like this is great, this is amazing, or people just like, I don't know, fighting in the. Yeah,
a lot of people do that.
Like the last time I ever I don't comment on anything. Like I said, I'm barely on social media. Even on YouTube, I don't like videos. I just I save them if I think they're funny enough. Or
that's what I do on Instagram.
Again,
I don't really like things on Instagram. I just save them.
Yeah, that's like your main interaction, because like and no comments, right?
No, I have never commented on anything.
Not that that's anything's against that, but me neither. Yeah. Like I did it, like I said, when I was in my Facebook era, which was a long, long time ago. Then I might have, but then after a while, it just gets so fucking hollow. Yeah. And just like, what is the point of this? It's like, it's not making me feel anything. Like, I think early on in Facebook, I was, I think mainly I wanted to just get the attention of this one girl, but yeah. But then usually it'd be like my sister or my mom or somebody, like, and so, which is fine, but then after a while, it's just like, what is the point of this? Like, what? It's just like going back to what you were talking about with not posting the bigger things, because it feels like, oh, I'm just trying to draw attention to this. Yeah. When it's just like, as long as people in my life are around and I'm having a good time with that, then I don't really. What the hell does a few people that I barely know or don't really talk to.
Yeah.
What the hell do they matter then?
Well, and another thing with commenting is you're having a conversation with someone you would never speak to in real life.
True.
It's like I'm commenting and I'm responding to some mom in North Carolina like I would never have spoken to her. And people also speak to each other in ways they would never speak in real life. Like you're not going to go tell someone you don't know to F off because they don't agree with you. It's just not real. And I think that also hinders in-person interaction.
Yep.
Because it's like, no, you wouldn't, that's not how you behave in the real world. That's not what you do in the real world. And so I think people get to a point where they can't separate interactions.
Because I think it's either one. I think it goes one of two ways. Either, again, you're just like if you're spewing a bunch of vile stuff online, then in real life you're probably just meek and just don't say anything like that. Or if you're really like messed up, then you cross those boundaries and then you're gonna get in trouble.
Exactly.
Get canceled, arrested, whatever. So it's like it's kind of two extremes, I think, and it's just and it also just warps and hinders in-person interactions because it's like it's not. It's fine to just get into the, I guess, not grind of social media, but the allure of social media. But if that's all you do, it's terrible. And I know people I think are drawn to that because whatever's going on in their lives is not interesting or.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable. Like sometimes you need a distraction from what's going on in your real life, and I think that's fine. But you also need to realize it's just a distraction and it's not real life.
Yes, you got to be able to separate that.
Exactly.
Because it's just one little facet of your life. You got to be able to deal with things in real life. You can't TikTok dance or freaking prank people or whatever like an employee, like a person you're trying to get, a place you're trying to get employed at.
Yeah.
You have to actually speak to somebody and do all that kinds of stuff. I think just being at school now, I think there are a certain amount of smart people, I don't want to call them kids, but people more in your generation that do kind of understand that. But I also feel like mainly the real degenerate idiot people are usually on I only see them online. I don't really see them in person. So maybe it's just where we're at, because I can't imagine living in like California or LA or something and having a bunch of fucking influencers just with their cameras out or like
Yeah, no way.
Like Jim, have you seen like some of these like fitness influencer people?
Oh my goodness, I can't with fitness influencers. And you think that's how the rest of the population is living, but it's not. And then also, I think another thing with this generation, this could be untrue though, because I don't know how realistic the percentage of people who are saying this is, but I've seen a lot of people in my generation be like, no, my kids won't be getting a phone until middle school, and they won't be getting social media until high school. Yeah. And so, could that be a lot of people? It could. I wouldn't know because I've only seen people on social media saying it. So that's not an accurate representation. But I think, hopefully, a lot of the people in this generation are realizing how bad it is.
And try and, like, maybe course correct.
Exactly. Whether it's because they're indulging in it so much, whether it's because their mental health is being affected by it. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're aware enough to see the damage it's causing, hopefully.
Yeah, and that's what I worry about too. Like the eventuality that all of kids, and then I don't know, because they also might be, if it's still this social media culture and we have to be connected all the time type thing, they might be ostracized, made fun of, and it's like how much can you control what they do? I mean, you can to a certain extent, and you should, but how far does it go? Yeah. And that's what I worry about. And it'd be nice if like a bunch of like people from your generation, as they have kids, and for the next generation, whatever, it's like Gen Alpha, I think. But that they shy them away from that, or make sure, because I think you need to be. But the problem is like even my generation with who didn't have all the social media you guys have at the start, their brains are rotted too. Yeah. You see all these old weirdos like going on TikTok and thinking it's like a dating app, and they're gonna. I want this hot blonde in this North Dakota area to come to my house, and I have enough money. It's like, this isn't a fucking dating app, you fucking fool. Like it's TikTok, because I don't know. I think it's too much of a monster. Social media. Or like then there's iPad kids,
and I
Oh,
see
yeah,
like
yeah.
a 5-year-old at a restaurant watching TikTok, what is going on? What is going on? Because I'm sure you know, my sister and I at restaurants, it was you entertain yourselves or each other and you don't like throw a fit. Now kids will start crying and their parents will just hand them a tablet. And obviously I'm not a parent so I can't speak on how I'll react to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my parents handled it well. Like if we were ever having a fit, they wouldn't just hand us their phone ever. Like we had a standard of being at the table meant you're sitting there and you're behaving. And so like my sister and I would make up random games. It would be like, oh, I'm going to hum a song and then you have to guess it. It would just be like dumb things like that, but we were never just, I could not imagine being handed a phone as entertainment.
Yeah, I think even as a person, you don't have to be a parent to understand that that's bad parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just you basically not wanting. And I get it. I've seen it from, like stories my mom has said, or even just seeing your dad or your mom
Mm-hmm.
raise you guys. It can be exhausting. It can be, you
yeah,
want
for sure.
attention, but that doesn't mean, but that's the laziest, kind of scummiest way to do it. Just, oh, here's an iPad.
Yeah.
Just entertain yourself. You're just, long term, you're going to fuck up that kid
Exactly.
real bad. And it's like, and even just in the simple example you made up, it's like fosters imagination, creativity.
Exactly.
And it could, help in the future for, whatever you want to do. And so I think, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, I feel like kids these days, they don't have imaginary friends because they have friends online. Or like I had so many imaginary friends all named after food.
Of course.
It was like Oreo and Mint Oreo and they're twins. And it was just random like things. And I feel like Lene, well, name drop. My sister's name
We've
is
already
Lene.
mentioned her name.
Yeah. We created so much more than kids create today because we were kind of forced to.
Well, I think some people like want to make people believe that their imaginary friends are real nowadays.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of
and that
kooky
just goes
weirdos.
into like feeding into people's issues.
Like, did you ever see that thing where like people thought like Hogwarts was real?
Oh my
And then
goodness.
no, you didn't see that?
Thank God.
I think it was like a TikTok trend where they legitimately thought like Hogwarts was real and they could
Go.
oh my, I really have to, there was a specific word for it, like phasing or some shit like that, where
my gosh.
like in their dreams they would be at Hogwarts and be with Harry and Ron and what's the Hermione
Hermione?
Hermione
Yeah.
Hagrid.
That's how I know it's getting bad. Like if I have a dream about an Instagram reel I saw, that's when I do a little detox.
Yeah.
But
I don't think you think, some imaginary world.
No.
I mean, listen, I always wished when I was a kid that I could go to some
Yeah.
fantasy world, like,
Of course. Like that's why I read so much. Because it felt like you were there, but I always knew
there's got to be that
it
disconnect.
wasn't exactly.
And that's the problem. Like, is it's like mental health issues could come to anybody, and especially with social media in this generation.
It's perpetuated for sure.
How do you combat that?
Exactly.
I have no idea. Because like
No.
anybody could just be some wackadoo and just like get into weird stuff just by watching a TikTok or an Instagram reel, and then there's some freaky degenerate that does a bunch of illegal, immoral stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's another topic we were going to cover is mental health and social media.
Mm-hmm.
And me personally, I know that social media has put a damper on my mental health at times. Whether it's because also, when you're sitting there and it feels like everyone is on that gym culture and everyone is getting 5.0s and getting into Harvard and everyone is just so much more ahead of you or they're traveling more than you. It's easy to compare and then get depressed about it. So if you already have depression and then you're basically sitting there like, yep, my life practically isn't worth living because other people are living better than me. That's one thing. It can make you anxious. This is embarrassing. But I've had full-blown panic attacks because I saw an Instagram reel of someone throwing up. As you know, it was like on Easter.
But that's your onomatopoeia phobia, or what is it called?
Emetophobia?
Emetophobia. That's it.
Well, yeah. No, and it's like if I weren't on social media that day, I wouldn't have seen it.
True.
And so, or like people who are depressed and they feel like they can't get out of bed. okay, well then you're just going to bed rot and you're going to be watching a ton of TikTok and Instagram and you're literally trapped in that, just watching other people say, no, it's normal. That happens to me too.
Yeah. It could be difficult too, because I would say this to younger people around your age and stuff. It's like, you guys realize how fucking young you are, how much time you have left? Like, all this kind of stuff, like, it makes more sense for someone like me, like, who's like, I look at someone like, oh yeah, they have wife, kids, all this kinds of stuff, and I'm just some fat loser balding in my head. But,
balding in my head.
Yeah, balding in my balding in my skin. Okay, I don't want to get copyright struck. That's Linkin Park, baby. But yeah, just so I think I wish people would stop doing that, because the comparisons and affecting their mental health, because it's like you have so much time, and it's like this is why you got to focus on stuff outside of social media. Because even me, that's why I don't go, because I used to be that way too, more so when, again, Facebook, fucking cesspool. I hate Facebook, but it's just like, it is comparing that. Oh, look what they're doing in their life. Look how good their life's going and where I'm at now. But it doesn't do any good. It doesn't do any good.
No.
You got to just live your life and do the best you can. You can't change anything. You can't go back in a time machine. Go back, and even if you could, you'd probably make it worse. So that's why I think, that people need to stop doing that, especially your guys' generation, because it's like you have so much fucking time. You need to just focus on what you want to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully not social media all the time.
Well, and there's like anxiety and depression can be perpetuated. And then I can't even imagine like people with eating disorders seeing it, because there are people who are like, here's what I eat in a day and here's how much I weigh, and like I've lost 30 pounds in 2 weeks. Let me show you how to do it. It's like, okay, so you're going to take someone who has an eating disorder, and then they see what I eat in a day, and it's like, I'm a 6 foot female who weighs 100 pounds and all this stuff. And it's like, no, that's
it's irresponsible.
It is.
It's irresponsible. But I think it also ties into like parenting, to be able to manage that kind of stuff. So your child is consuming that kind of crap, and just like, hopefully they build enough of a mental barrier, I guess is the best word to describe, to be able to handle that stuff as they get older and be like, okay, that's bullshit. I'm not going to listen to that, or what have you.
Well, yeah. Well, and Bud, he's always on some sort of health kick, whatever. But I think he did do a good job of being like, okay, here's how you eat healthy. Here's how you work out to be healthy. This is what is healthy. Not eating is not healthy. It's okay if you don't look a certain way. He was always very like, this is what you'll do to stay healthy, and these are unhealthy things, but it doesn't really matter how you look as long as you're healthy.
I think Bud has a lot of knowledge on that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like diet, food intake, exercise. I know he's like very much a bodybuilder guy, but he knows the ones that are like, on the gear and all that kinds of stuff. So he has that knowledge. It's just like he just needs to implement it.
Yeah.
Towards himself, but
yeah.
Anywho, let's finish off with a fun little game.
Yay!
Because we never get to do this because your mom and dad are poopy butts.
Here's how to improve your mental health. Get off of social media and play games.
Yes. Now, what is this game again?
Okay, this game is called Wavelength. Awkwardly enough, I got it from social media. Ignore that. But so the goal of Wavelength, you can play with multiple people, or it's a 2-player game at minimum. So there's okay, gotta lock in. There's a range 1 to 10, and I'm gonna have a number. So here's just an example. I'm gonna say my number is 10, and then Matt is gonna ask me questions. He's gonna say, drink. What's a drink? And I'm gonna say Diet Coke. And then he's gonna ask me a color, and I'm gonna say yellow. So he's thinking, wow, Chloe really loves Diet Coke, and Chloe really loves yellow. The number must be a 10. Or vice versa, he would be like, give me a drink, and I'd say prune juice. And then give me a color, and I'd say brown. And he'd like be, okay, maybe it's lower on the scale, like a 1. So keeping in mind, 1 is low, 1 is bad, 5 is medium,
yep.
And then 10 is really, really good. So basically, I'm going to have a number in my head. Matt's going to ask me questions. I'm going to give him an answer that I rank this number in my head.
And it's just the number for all the things you're saying?
All the things, yes.
Okay. I remember.
Yeah.
All right. So you got the number in your head?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go easy. Food.
Wait. Okay. I'm going to say for this one, macaroni and cheese for this number.
Movie.
Meet Joe Black.
I think you talked about this a while ago. Sport.
Basketball. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of narrows it down. How many questions do I ask?
5.
Okay, what's that? 3?
Yep.
Song.
Simulation Swarm by Big Thief.
Okay. I gotta lock it in. Animal.
Koala.
Okay. I'm gonna say 8.
7. It was
Oh
a 7.
my, one off? Are you
Yeah.
flipping kidding me? All right, hold on. Let me think of my number. Okay, I got it.
Okay, give me a color.
Orange.
Okay. Give me a song.
Oh, what's that? 8675309. Have you ever heard that song?
No?
Okay, that's the song.
Okay. Okay. Orange. 835.
8675309.
Okay.
Copyright struck immediately.
Give me a TV show.
Law and Order.
Okay. Give me an ice cream flavor. I think this is my 5th question.
Okay, I don't want to give this away, so. Oh, this is hard. Butterscotch?
What the hell? I'm going to say your number is 2.
5.
Oh.
Because I was thinking mid in my head.
That was way off.
I could not.
That's where you say vanilla.
I love vanilla though. Vanilla would be like a 10 for me, bruh. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, but
That's
vanilla
like a
is like
10
the
out of
most
10.
mid flavor.
It's the best flavor.
Okay.
No, vanilla milkshake? Come on, man. All right.
So that song was mid to you, you're telling me?
What? Oh, yeah. I couldn't think of a good one, but yeah, that one's just like, eh.
Okay.
So, number?
I got it. Did it even have a question and you're asking me if I have a number?
School subject.
Math.
A drink.
Sprite.
A board game.
This is hard. You know that weird one, the Get a Grip? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm.
Okay, I think I'm honing it down. I guess influencer or somebody like you.
What?
like a, I don't know, person you might like or dislike on.
On social media?
Yes. To tie back into our whole thing.
Yeah, I guess. I'll do. Big Justice.
Okay. I think I know where this is going. What's another like category? You got a good idea for a category? 'Cause or should I just repeat some of the categories?
You can repeat.
Okay. Movie?
The Hunt for the Red October.
I'm sure your dad watched that. And you're giving it away, bruh.
If you could see my face, you'd know.
I don't know. Musical genre, let's say.
Rap.
So I'd say, oh my God, it's between two for me. One.
It was 3.
Oh my God. A little off.
Yeah.
All right, let's do mine and then we'll sign off.
Okay. Do you have your number?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a music artist.
Beirut. I'm serious.
Can you sing a song?
I don't think you're going to know
Oh.
who he is. I'm not going to sing a song. I don't want to get struck down.
Okay, thanks. So actually, that was the least helpful you could have been. Ooh, an activity to do, like, let's say a summertime activity.
Playing a board game.
Okay, that's pretty high. I feel like, hopefully, unless the past 17 years of my life have been a lie, you enjoy board games.
Maybe.
So let's do a type of weather. Examples could be, wow, snowy, hailing, raining, like cold rain.
I'd say light snow on a sunny day.
That is the worst. That is the worst.
Light snow on a sunny day.
Okay. Giving me the worst. You're giving me nothing to work with. What was that third question?
I'm giving you everything to work with.
Was that the third question?
I think so.
Snow, sunny day.
Damn it, I got that song stuck in my head.
Oh, I found the lights.
Or the Big Justice. We bring the boom. That's what we do.
Okay. A snack.
Ooh. Welch's fruit snacks.
You're a fruit snack guy. Okay. Last question is, give me a drink. He's muttering.
Orange Fanta.
What the hell? I think your number's an 8.
9.
Whatever.
Boom. That's what we. That'd be a 10 out of 10 right there.
That's your favorite
AJ,
song?
Big Justice. They're my guys. The Rizzler.
What do you know about a chicken bake?
A double chunk chocolate cookie. Chicken bake. Chicken bakes are good. Anyway, we got to wrap this up. So
right.
Thank you everybody for sticking with us. This was the Gen YZ podcast, and I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Goodbye.
See you next time.
See you next time, guys. Bye. Bye. The Gen YZ podcast, now available on Spotify and YouTube. If you'd like to follow us on social media, It's at GenYZ_podcast on both Instagram and TikTok.